Hey, dear friends. Hey, I hope that you're having a great week. Hey, it's Tim Coman. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever thought about the term or the phrase frame of reference? You know, we in our lives can get so caught up by looking at circumstances, situations, that we often lose our frame of reference. We forget that we serve an incredible, life-altering, life-saving God in Jesus Christ. He is the one that can turn around a situation in a moment. But that situation, we have to be able to give to Him and let Him have it. Every week I pass, several times a week, I pass this, what used to be, or looks like it was initially going to be a church. And as I cross over 1960, over the Lake Houston Bridge, there is this building that's over to the left. It looks like it was a building that was initially began to be a church, and I want to show you this in just a second. But what amazed me about this is it looks like they started, it looks like they had it all, an idea there. It was an idea that I'm sure was birthed in someone's heart and a vision and passion. And maybe their intent was to be a church that was life-altering and changing. And I bet you anything that they started out with just an honest, sincerity in their heart. But again, that term, frame of reference, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with the church, or did it fall apart? Did they lose faith? Did they lose money? I don't know. But as I passed that, it just piques my attention each and every time. And so I decided to stop one day and decided to look inside. And I was amazed at how that it looked like they were going to have these awesome plans and an ability to look out the back and see the water behind them. I'm sure it was going to be a beautiful view. But as you can see, as in just a moment, they never finished it out. All they got was the frame up on the outside. And I want you to take a look at this, and then I want to come back and I just want to close this out. And I want you to think about the winds and waves in our lives that get in our perspective, and they keep us from taking that next step that God wants you and I and everyone else to take that step. You know, He didn't promise us that it would be easy, but He did promise us that He would give us the strength and that He would never forsake us. I'll be back in just a minute. So here we are. I'm looking at this building, and as you can see by the look of it, it looks like maybe at one time it was going to be a church. Wow. So as you see, they started framing out the building. They began to make it really look good. I guess there was going to be a steeple there. And as you can see now, it's for sale. Now, again, I don't know any history here, but I'm looking at the building and I'm thinking, wow, what happened? This apparently was going to be the entrance to the location, to the church. And it looks like they had some pretty cool stuff that they were going to do. Looks like it was going to be a pretty awesome worship area, but it never was finished out. And I want you to get that perspective in your heart and your mind right now. And I want you to think about, as we go about our lives, as we go about where we are, how much and how many times do we stop short of what the perspective is that God has for us? You know, we start working our lives and we start building our lives out, and we get excited. God's doing something. Maybe He's doing some amazing work in our heart and our life, but then discouragement comes. Maybe the financial struggles happen. You know, again, God doesn't promise us a rose garden. So I want you to think about this. This was somebody's heart. This was somebody's dream. And, you know, again, it's just a building. But it's symbolic of the perspective of our life and what our life can be. I'll be right back.
As you can see, it looked like it was a great building at one point. Or it looked like that's what their intent was. The vision was there. Maybe it was a group of people that were passionate in their heart. And I'm sure they were. I'm sure that they had to have some initial money. You know, you don't go and start that and not have some money to put down. But again, what happened? Did the vision change? Did the people's hearts change? What happened? Oftentimes we can get so caught up with the winds and the waves that we fail to realize and keep our eyes on the one who controls it. The one who's walking on the water towards us. You know, the one who is telling us to get out of the boat and walk on that water. You know, there's so many people who focus on Peter and how he lost his faith. You know, there's so many people who say, oh, he lost his faith, he didn't have it. And yes, Jesus did get on to him and said, why don't you have enough faith? But Peter did get out of the boat. He did take that step. You know, each and every week, we're given the opportunity to look at our week, and we're given that opportunity to put it in a frame, a reference. So here's an idea for you. Take any old frame that you have,
and change it out. Change the look of that picture by putting it in a fresh new frame. The Bible tells us very quickly you can't put new wine in old wineskins, they'll bust. We're forever changing. We're forever adapting. The message hasn't changed, but perhaps our methods on reaching people and loving people and reaching out in phenomenal ways. And I want you to think about something that's really important. Jesus, when he ministered to the Samaritan woman, imagine if that was today and Jesus ministered to somebody who was Muslim. Imagine if Jesus today ministered to somebody who was totally 100% diametrically opposed to you socially, emotionally, faith-wise, every aspect. They may be an atheist, whatever. What is your perspective? What is your frame of reference? What do you go by? Today, I want you to look at that building and I want you to think about as you watch that clip. Are we starting to build something? And then when the winds and waves or struggles come, and again, I don't know what happened to that church, but when the winds and waves came, something happened because they never finished it out. Just a thought today. God bless. If you're looking for a church home, there's plenty of places in Dayton that you can find that'll just love on you, be there for you. If you visited the site and you've never been here before, man, share your prayer request. I love it when people send me a private message and say, Tim, this is what's going on in my life, and, can you pray? Man, I love doing that for you. But there's plenty of other people here too. And I'm not saying that's not to discourage you from sending me prayer requests. There's other people here that I promise you will encourage you and love you. And again, if you don't have a place of worship in this town or in the whole surrounding area, Liberty, Dayton, then I encourage you to find that place. Because there's wonderful people on this site and on this page that will love you and encourage you in your faith. Get your frame of reference right. Get your perspective right. Quit focusing on the winds and the waves and focus on the one who's walking on the water. And remember this, and when Peter began to sink, he knew who to call on. Who are you calling on today? God bless. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.